Kids for Peace started in 2002. It was really a response to the Second Intifada, or uprising in Israel-Palestine. He was working at St. George's College, which is a continuing education program in East Jerusalem. And he was sitting on his rooftop listening to the sounds of the conflict. And he looked at his wife and he said, "I wonder what's going to happen to the children." And through some contacts in Houston, he arrived at an idea that 4 Jewish Israelis, 4 Christian Palestinians, and 4 Muslim Palestinians would come together, get out of the conflict, and have a camp experience to get to know one another and really to break down some of the conflict issues and get to know one another and understand differences, not as enemy, but as friend.
As far as Kids for Peace Atlanta chapter, we've done some amazing outreach projects, service projects throughout the community here in the Metro Atlanta area. For example, in the past we've done a coat drive, Love Thy Neighbor, in which we gathered coats for kids in need during the cold winter months. And this was kids from all 3 Abrahamic faiths that got to interact with the local community. A lot of these people were from other faith-based backgrounds, Baha'is, Buddhists, and just to be able to give back to our own neighbors in the community here.
We had 4 kids from our synagogue who, 6th graders, rising 6th graders who went to camp, and it was an amazing experience. I mean, the next summer I led a trip to Israel from my congregation, and while we were in Jerusalem, we went to visit the Kids for Peace office in Jerusalem. So every one of the kids in America has a peace pal, someone that is either from Palestine or Israel that is their peace pal. And so our kids got to meet with their peace pals, and it was really an amazing experience because they'd see each other here in Georgia, but then to be able to reconnect in Jerusalem, it was tremendous.
We are getting ready to start one in Cincinnati. Seattle has a regional camp that everyone in that northwestern area come together. So we're starting to spread this idea, and people are really starting to turn onto it.
It's just all about breaking grounds and breaking down walls and doing what it's right, doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is treating others with kindness and love.
When you see that moment, that little glimpse of what the kids have in their eyes, then you realize that Kids for Peace really is a phenomenal organization.
For the Marietta-Roswell area, we do work in Cobb, Cherokee, and North Fulton counties. And our goal is to just make sure that we represent the underserved populations and make sure that we kind of close the gap and make sure that they're getting the services that they need. And one of the things that we do is we have a community Christmas celebration, is what we call it. And so we targeted roughly 14 organizations that we could partner with to touch more lives. We've been doing little things where we had been able to touch students here and there, but we wanted to make it broader and we wanted to extend past Christmas. So some of the organizations that we worked with this year, we actually were able to give them things like appliances, things that will basically help them to help others on a longer term, in addition to supplying needful things like clothing, socks, wants, as in toys, bikes, and those kinds of things. But we wanted to go even further and give ourselves to them as well. So we've thrown parties, we've done cleanups at organizations, but we wanted to make sure that Cobb County, especially North Fulton and Cherokee, knew that we were here and we existed to help them. So we are a service organization that's roughly 500 plus women that are in this area, and we want to give back and do that because somebody gave to us. So we want to always give ourselves away in that vein. And we come from all walks of life. We look not the same. So we are a diverse organization coming from diverse backgrounds. I'm an engineer. We've got teachers, we've got philosophers, we've got a whole bunch of people, some just philanthropists. So we are really diverse, and we wanted to just make sure that Cobb County knew we were here and we can partner with the county, and we do, and county organizations, so that we can just kind of give ourselves back and make sure that the schools and all of the parents, etc., just know that we're here and we're here for them.
District 4, just trying to form a collaborative team among all the working entities, and particularly the community leaders, pastors, and the elected officials, where we all kind of work together and collaborate in order to move forward with a positive vision for Cobb County as we move further into this new century. I think we got some real good, exciting things happening, and look forward to being a part of that. I do a lot of work with the American Legion, and we do a lot of community work, not only empowering the members currently in the military or ex-military, but for the children and in the community. We sponsor a lot of programs like Junior ROTC. You know, we sponsor, if they have any sport activities or civic activities, we try and sponsor those. And gives them an opportunity to see veterans up close, and also for us to both intermingle and you know, form a good partnership for the community. Then I do a lot of work with the Powder Springs Task Force, and we pretty much do the same thing, a lot of activities in the city of Powder Springs, working alongside with the city council and the mayor. And we try and provide opportunities for young people to have some structured activities to do, and if they need any support, we do things like mentoring or back-to-school jams where we supply them with school supplies, or if they have any activities that they're involved in. And pretty much I do that same thing also with the Austell Task Force. It takes a while sometimes to get people to really take a good look at themselves. You know, we all have our blind side. Just like on my vehicles, I have a little bullseye mirrors so I can see the blind side. And sometimes in life we need to take time out to just take a look at that blind side that we have, because you know, we get caught up into day-to-day activities. And once they stop, I try and convince them that this is just like sports. You've been caught up into the game, the flow of the game, and it's not going your way. So the coach has to say, time out, come here, sit down a minute. Let's take a look at what you've been doing and what's going on. And let me give you some feedback so that when you go back out there, you can be a little more effective. You know, you look at a lot of your musicians and some of your great artists, a lot of times during their times of challenge or stress, they come up with some of their masterpieces. So we try and give them those type of metaphors.
Where I've brought together different social agencies and groups, churches together to try to improve the quality of life and the services provided to the families and the students that we have that live in the Franklin Road area. I have over 1,000 students on Franklin Road. In the Marietta City School District, I have about 250 at the high school. So part of it was just in the day-to-day conversation with those students. Some of it was in a response to some of the crime statistics and data that was coming out, particularly last spring. That we were responding to down there. We wanted the folks of Franklin Road to understand that while the area is undergoing redevelopment, that it doesn't mean that this community does not care about them, does not care about their well-being, and doesn't care about their future. We've gotten a good response from those, and we've gotten a good response on the committee. We've done surveys of the students down there with regard to their own perceptual data of what it's like to live on Franklin Road, things that they would want for their families, things that their families might be struggling with, but also what they think are the positive attributes to living on Franklin Road. And I've been able to share that data with different organizations that are reinvesting and beginning to look at more time. We're looking at summer programming for the students and different types of programming and activities that can take place during school breaks. Because once the redevelopment was announced, a lot of the groups that were down there oftentimes providing aid or support pulled away from Franklin Road because they felt like the development would be very quick. And then when the stadium deal was announced right on the end of that, it's left the community a little bit in limbo down there. So the redevelopment is going to take longer than I think it was anticipated, at least in the community, and so we need to continue to provide support in those areas. My hope would be that we are able to re-engage some of those agencies, United Way, Boys and Girls Club. We've got a wonderful Pals and Yells unit that's down there. We've just met at the Lawrence Street facility this morning to talk about how to get those students from Lawrence Street to the rec center and how to provide some additional transportation support for those students as they try to engage in activities still in the community, possibly provide some additional computer support down there and even some English classes for some of the parents or for some of the tutoring. And it's a multi-agency committee, so I think the reason I was not listed, my understanding is the reason I was nominated was because of the work of that committee and what we've been able to achieve down there.